If your body is starting to reject the following, it means you are shifting to 5D, the fifth dimensional Earth, the new Earth, according to Dolores Cannon, entering a higher timeline. There are many ways to express this evolutionary process. And one of the best ways of knowing you're going through it is by looking into your body. And when I say body, I also mean like your consciousness. You might find that there are things you're eating, aspects of your environment, relationships, careers, living situations, different types of energies that were once perfectly okay. You never noticed it causing a problem, and all of a sudden it is causing problems. And certain things might be weighing you down, holding you back vibrationally, causing you stress, causing you anxiety, causing you to feel suppressed, blocked, trapped, stuck, all of these things. And this video is going to share with you what I found to be the most common things that need to go if you intend to continue on this path of ascension. Now, with that said, you might hear some of these things. In fact, several of them you might notice are still in your life. Me too. It's okay. It's a process. It's a transition. But I'm filming this video for a few reasons. One, so you know you're not alone. Two, you know you're not going crazy. And three, hopefully to inspire you to take that next step. In fact, I predict one of these things is going to stand out to you, and your higher self's going to say, this is for you right now. And if this video can help you make that choice to let go and move on, then it's done its job. So thank you for watching. Happy to have you here, my friends, and I'll see you inside. The first one is shallow gossip. Low vibrational communication, instigative types of remarks about other people, insulting and rude jokes, excessive negativity, constant complaining, the victim kind of mindset. Now, here's the thing. You probably do some of that, and so do I. We're not saints here, but you might find that there are quite a few people who predominantly stay in that type of kind of negative frequency. It can be gossip, it can be bad-mouthing other people, it can be just excessive complaining, that kind of thing. You might find that you literally can only handle so much of it before your very own body becomes physically exhausted. You might find yourself physically exhausted, emotionally backed up, like you like a sponge. You absorb some of that negativity and you start to feel some of those feelings that other people probably are feeling as they're saying it. And mentally you become kind of foggy and exhausted. It's not that you disagree or you have some type of moral standpoint. It's more so your body is not tolerating this type of communication any longer. And this can be tricky, of course, when you have to go to a job where predominantly people are doing that, or when you live in a household where people are doing that, or when your best friend is always doing that. This is not an easy thing to contend with. But what you'll probably find is you will naturally start setting boundaries, spending as little time as possible around these frequencies. Another one specifically is the energy your phone gives off. Your phone, or your tablet especially. How do you feel after spending even 10 minutes scrolling around on your phone? Even if you're looking up something beneficial. I was on an airplane yesterday and it was like taking a long time to take off. When I was doing it, I was researching breath work. I plan to create a breathwork certification and I'm very excited about it, and I feel very good when I learn about it. But I was doing that on my phone, but because it was on my phone, for whatever reason, whether it's the bright blue lights or the frequency or the EMFs, I don't know. All I know is after even a short time on my phone, I feel ungrounded, I feel scattered, I feel very compulsive. Like, you ever do that where you're on your phone a while and then you put it down and then 10 seconds goes by and you're like, oh, I need to do this also. And then you're lost for another 10 minutes and then you're like, you put it away like, okay, now I'm taking a break. It repeats itself over and over and over again, which of course makes the situation worse. You might find that you're at least wanting to set boundaries with your phone. It's very difficult. In fact, over there I have a lock I'll go through times where I literally lock my phone up for periods of like 12 hours, like in the evening time. And I never have my phone in my room. I try to keep it on do not disturb. I'll purposely leave it when I'm going to go out. Like I was recently in Sedona, for example, and I went out to eat and then go to a hike. And my buddy was like, "Where's your phone?" I said, "I don't have it." And he was like, "What? Really? Why?" I said, "I left it." Now listen, I'm not a saint. I struggle with this. It's very addictive, this phone situation. But you might find that if you look around, most people, in fact, go to the airport. It's a great example. Everybody's on their phone. Everybody's literally like 99% of the people at any given moment, even when they're eating, are on their freaking phone. Where you see that. You see not only the insanity behind it, but it's literally like it's affecting your mind, your body, and especially your spirit. The third one is toxic environments. Now, I don't want to use the word toxic, actually. I want to change that to misaligned environments. Toxic implies like a judgment. I'm saying environments that don't really work for you. Everybody is different. I'm in Austin, Texas, and I'm out in Dripping Springs. It's like a nice place, kind of quiet, lot of nature, and I love it. I feel great here. My buddy Aaron, who's also on the same path as me, we've been kind of working on ourselves for as long as we've known each other, and he's another YouTuber. He does not like it here in Austin. He likes it in Southern California. He likes the vibe, he says. He likes the creative energy. Now, for me, when I go to Southern California, even though I do like parts of it, I don't know if it's the amount of people or what, but I feel very, very dysregulated there. I literally cannot be there for a long period of time, though I know what he's saying. There is a unique vibe. There's a lot of creative energy, I think, present out there. But nonetheless, when I say environments, it's like whatever is not working for you will cause you to feel dysregulated. This also, of course, has its unique difficulties because when you realize where you live is one of these environments in which I speak of, it begs the question, what do you do? Am I supposed to move? Honestly, the answer oftentimes is yes. Going to this new place will require oftentimes a lot of change. Now, sometimes you can change within the situation. You can change your relationship to the situation. You can sort of modify your routine within it. Sometimes one minor tweak can actually make a huge difference. I remember years ago when I wanted to move from Michigan out west, where I felt it was a much more resonant vibe, if you will. I spent time out west and I thought, wow, I feel a lot better here. I feel a lot more creative, a lot more grounded, a lot more tapped in. But lo and behold, I was sort of at this particular time I'm referring to, I was stuck in Michigan, and there's not much I can do about it. And then my wife and I, for no reason that I can recall anyways, we had this idea to go to the local Lifetime Fitness. And we walked into the Lifetime Fitness and that became our oasis. We went there every single day. For one, they had childcare, so me and my wife could go and get some time together, and I'd use the sauna, I'd go in the steam room, I would stretch, I'd work out. I'd sometimes literally go there and just read. And for a while, it did the trick. That gave us an outlet. That gave us a place that we could go and connect with ourselves and work on ourselves and get a break from kind of the hustle and bustle energy we were normally immersed in. So I'm saying this to those people who feel like I did at a few different points in my life, where you feel kind of stuck. Yeah, I know, Vic. I'd be much better off here or here or here or anywhere, but I can't afford to move. Or it's going to take some time. I have a career. I have a house. I have a life here. It's not that it's unnecessary to expect drastic change. Now, I used to not know this. I used to make very abrupt changes, abrupt, kind of not well thought out changes. When I would suddenly become aware that something was out of alignment, I would like almost force myself out of it. But that can also cause a lot of problems. For example, if you quit your job and you don't have any money and you're not ready to quit your job. What I've learned again is oftentimes you'll become aware of an environment and you'll know it's not good for you. And for a little while, you won't know what to do. You'll feel stuck. But given enough time and some patience, life will have a way of kind of paving a path for you to find a clean exit. And in the meantime, as I said before, there's a lot of wiggle room. How could you make your circumstance a bit better? Even deciding to wake up and go for a walk each morning before the city folk kind of come to life, that can be a big thing right there. Just going for a walk early in the morning. That can be peaceful almost anywhere you are. Finding where the sunset is and watching that sun go down. Little things you can do to live a high vibe lifestyle, even while presently not in your ideal situation. And you'll also find other times where the next step is to move. I work with this guy named David, real great guy. He's one of the coaching clients in our full-time purpose program. And he came on the calls a couple of times and he mentioned he wanted to, I want to say he wanted to get out of Berlin, not knocking Berlin. I could be even wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where he wanted to leave. And I forgot where he wanted to go, to be honest, but it was something where he was going through this kind of, like he wasn't sure if that was the right move, because of course, for anyone to like move out of your country, it's no small thing. And he felt this strong like knowing and intuition he needs to move. But again, the mind can't help but object and bring to your awareness all the practicalities that have to happen. And your mind can sometimes question how drastic of a move it is just to move out of a place because you no longer prefer the vibe. It's like, it's kind of a weird thing. And then of course, if you try to explain yourself to your friends and family, they don't get it. And that makes you doubt yourself even more. But nonetheless, the point is he eventually did move and he's way happier and way better off last I checked, even though I think I talked to him and he was back home for a minute and he didn't like it there. But nonetheless, it was the right move for him. And I've gone through this many times. If you've been watching my YouTube channel, in fact, you've seen like 7 different living situations in just the last like 8 to 10 years. Another big one is a draining, misaligned career situation. This is something that will not only suck the life out of you and make you just mentally unhappy, creatively unfulfilled, but it will start to wear on your body. In fact, there's a term in Japan, I think it's karoshi, and it's death by work, I think is exactly what it means verbatim, death by work or something along those lines, where there's this phenomenon of people, even younger people, dying of a random heart attacks and different kind of spontaneous deaths can occur even to younger folks because they are living a lifestyle and having a career demands that just far exceed their body and their mind's capacity to sustain. Now, hopefully, I hope, pray that's not you right here listening to this, but you might find that same phenomenon happening to you. And what's really unusual is when it can happen out of left field, because you may be thinking, well, this didn't used to be the case. I used to love what I do. Why is it not only less enjoyable, less fulfilling, more stressful, but actually taking a toll on my physical body? Where maybe your sleep is disrupted. Maybe you're running on cortisol most of the time. Maybe you find it very difficult to get back into a place of peace. You may find it like almost impossible to continue to grow and to evolve and to deepen your spirituality and pursue the things that light you up. And it can be kind of it can really put a damper, honestly, on your spiritual pursuits, because right now you might feel on one hand stuck in a career that is doing all these things. And also parallel to that, you might be having these newfound passions and inspirations that come up and you feel like you can't tend to them. You can't explore them because you're just so drained at your career. But again, this is one of those tricky situations that no one handed me a manual. No one said, hey, Vic, when this happens, you just do these 3 things and you'll upgrade your career. It's not that simple. That you seem to be, sometimes it feels like you're just left to your own devices to figure it out. But the cool thing is, what I've learned is that when you start to experience this phenomenon, there is a way out. It might not be time just yet, but there is a way out. In fact, I will predict, if this is you, you will not stay there. One way or the other, the universe will kick you out. And if you wait till the last second, it'll be maybe more painful than it needs to be. But if you can kind of open up at least the possibility there might be something else for you, suddenly you'll start seeing opportunities that will come into your life. And if you have the courage to pursue them, you will find that they can, again, like pave that path out. And now it might take some time. You might have to put up with this career a little bit longer, but just simply not allowing yourself to be stuck, knowing your power, knowing that you have a connection to something very deep and wise that has the ability to guide you through the darkness, through resonance, through inspiration, through gut feelings, through these hunches, through synchronicities. And though your mind will not be able to make any sense of it, and your mind will feel absolutely no certainty or no even hope sometimes, your spirit is way, 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 way more powerful than your mind. And if you can at least open up to the idea that maybe this is happening for a reason, maybe this is happening for my best interest, maybe there's something so much better I'm now ready for, and I just don't yet know exactly what it is. But the universe and my spirit guides are working behind the scenes to hook me up. And I know that might sound like some kind of fairy tale thing to believe in. I've experienced that time and time and time and time and time again. My mind has been blown multiple times with just how perfect everything is always working out. Now, of course, you might find certain foods and even substances no longer work for you. What comes to mind for me is wine. I used to love wine. In fact, my wife and I have this huge, like it's a small barrel, but it's like this, about this big, this barrel, this kind of caged barrel decoration, and it's filled with like wine tops from over the years, and we still have it out on our counter. I used to really enjoy wine, basically. And about a couple of years ago, I just found that I wasn't able to really enjoy it. I would find that I would either sip it so slowly that I wouldn't really get a buzz, and then a headache would come on. And then I realized that, oh, maybe I'm just drinking it too slowly. I just kind of have to embrace it. Maybe I'm just being hesitant with it. So I would drink I'd drink a glass kind of quickly, not slam it or anything. But even that had the same effect, where the buzz I had enjoyed, that warm, wino type of buzz, which is very nice, that I enjoyed, over the last 20 years, all of a sudden I wasn't getting that. I was just feeling kind of blurry, like my vision would get blurry. I'd get a headache, and I would feel almost like hungover immediately upon drinking it, where of course normally it's like an hour later or something. And eventually I just realized, like, I just stopped drinking it for obvious reasons. It was not helping me, not uplifting me. It wasn't that I got the high and then the hangover. It was just all negative. It wasn't working for me. So I naturally put it aside. Now, what I've also learned is that it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. Maybe your grandmother can bake a really good cake, and it's a real joy to go to grandma's house and have a nice slice of cake for someone's birthday, and there's a lot of celebratory vibes in the air, and it's a very overall pleasant, family bonding, warm kind of experience. But you might realize that if you eat too much of that cake, maybe grandma sends you home with half a cake, and that starts to cause you problems. It's not that the cake itself is like a hard no. It might just mean you have to moderate yourself a little bit. I experienced this with cannabis. For a little while there, I was growing cannabis and I was smoking a lot of cannabis, and there came a point where it started to affect my motivation, and there were new creative ideas that were coming into my field of awareness, and I wanted to pursue them, and I found that it was like directly getting in the way. My cannabis habit would literally like kill my motivation. So I stopped completely, cold turkey, just stopped for years. But now it's kind of come back into my life, but in a very, very different way. I find if I use it very mindfully with intention, like every few weeks, very, very like minute amount, it's actually awesome for me. It allows me to tune out of work, which when you're an entrepreneur, you're kind of like in a way always at work, and it can be a challenge for many to like separate that. It can help me separate that. I'll just sit out by the pool and chill, or go for a walk, or do some breath work. And it's like, it actually serves me very, very well but I can't just do it like 5 times a day like I used to. So it's not cannabis is bad, low vibe. It's that my relationship has to evolve. Another one, which I'm sure is not news to you, is imbalanced relationships. If you're doing all the giving and they're doing all the taking, even though that may have been the dynamic for a long time, that will start to wear on you. It'll start to drain you. You will feel just all the symptoms I mentioned before. Physically exhausted, mentally drained, creatively just spent, and you're just hanging out with your buddy. Hanging out with the girlfriend or the guy or the boyfriend. Hanging out at mom or dad's house. Whoever it is, it could be anybody. Just because they're your family doesn't mean it's a vibrational match, and many times it's not. And just because it's someone who's been in your life for a long time and you love them and they love you on some level and you have, you know, a bond and a history, we're living at a time where people are evolving at like radically different rates now. And if you watch videos like this, you're probably on the up and up. You're probably growing very quickly and you will encounter this. And I've never met a single person who hasn't, usually multiple times. And it is one of the most challenging aspects of it, I will say. I don't have any like good news, like, oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be easy. It's not always easy because it's not black and white. On one hand, again, you love them. They love you on some level. On the other hand, you can't be around them that much. And this can cause someone to be stuck for a long time with someone who's kind of weighing them down. And it's guilt and maybe even a bit of nostalgia, maybe seeing who you know they could be but aren't showing up as. Whatever it is, the relationship will have to be modified if you want to continue to grow. Again, easier said than done. I've had, unfortunately, a decent amount of like hard falling outs with people. And it's just one of those things that comes with it. But what's the alternative? To sacrifice your pursuit of growth and happiness just to spare someone else some hard feelings? And then, is that even doing them any good? Is that what's best for them? Sometimes what's best for them is them to get a reflection of how they're showing up. It'll hurt in the moment, but they may be doing this to other people, and other people might not be so kind, or other people might react to it, or they're just going to not evolve themselves. By being true to yourself, setting boundaries for yourself, you are at least giving someone an opportunity to learn more about themselves. And I've experienced this oftentimes where I've set that difficult boundary and then you can reunite in a better, more sustainable way. Just to end with something I'm pretty sure you know deep down, is all that can come to the new earth, this higher timeline, is you. The real you, the deeper I am version of you. Not the conditioned persona. Not the life circumstances, habits that are connected with that persona. During this time, which is very challenging, you will be given a full plate. A lot of awareness you'll probably notice is opening up for you right now. Awareness of who you could be, where you really want to go, what you do want to pursue, what does light you up, what does evoke passion. An awareness of what is weighing you down, what is holding you back. And right now it's like all of it's there, right on the table, giving you a choice. But it's not just an easy yes or no choice. Sometimes these transitions take some time. Sometimes they require painful endings or a lot of willpower to sever a habit, for example. Tremendous amounts of courage and faith are required. This is not easy to do. And it's not only letting go of the things that are bugging you and weighing you down, it's letting go of parts of your identity that are associated with that. And doing this, even though energetically it can feel right, it can also cause you to feel like you don't know who you are anymore. Like you're just in this limbo. All you're doing is just letting go of this, letting go of that, more awareness, more healing, more letting go of this, more letting go of that. Who am I after all this? Yeah, I got these little glimpses of passion here and there, but the identity you once sort of leaned against is crumbling along with the things you're naturally gravitating away from. And they call this the dark night of the soul. They call this ego death. There's different names for it, but it is a real experience. And it is very challenging for the ego structure to endure. And it can bring about a lot of resistance, a lot of like temporary backsliding even, where you re-embrace the darkness for a time, dive back into addiction one last time, just to once and for all show yourself that this is not you. So be patient with yourself. This is not an easy thing to do, but you wouldn't be going through it if you weren't able to handle it. And the reality is, you're gonna handle it a lot better than the majority of the population. And that's why you're going through it now, right before the entire planet starts going through this exact same process you're going through right now. That's why you're even seeing videos like this. You feel this shift is well underway, but it has yet to really reach the mainstream the way I think is gonna happen very, very soon. And the world is gonna need calm, stable presences like you. People who know what it's like, know what it feels like, knows the challenges, and knows it's gonna be okay. Know that everything that's falling out of your life is making room for what's always been there but previously suppressed, and that is your light, your truth, your real self, your essence. And when that can finally have room and space to come back online, all the things you once let go of will start to be replaced with things that are more of a reflection of that energy, more of a reflection of what you truly deserve, what you're truly worth. This is the fifth dimension people are talking about. It's happening inside of your body. It's happening within you right now. And it's not gonna happen all by itself. It requires our participation. It requires the courage, requires the faith, requires letting go, requires not always needing to understand what's happening, but trusting your feeling, trusting your intuition will always guide you. I appreciate you watching, my friends. Thank you so much. If this helped you, please leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know if this resonates. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. There are more videos. 3 times a week, I upload videos like this. My mission is to help guide people who are going through this exact process. Thanks again.